Welcome back. The growing rate of campus prostitution in Nigeria today is raising a lot of serious concern among Nigerians. It has been an open trade as they portray themselves as big girls. According to the report, Nigeria is one of the 10 countries with the most sex workers. For real? What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 070-8066801. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect and please hashtag Yourview TVC. Now, when I read this report, I'm like,
really?
Really?
It's the truth.
How is that possible?
These
young girls that we're seeing that are just very, Auntie Mariah. They can't be involved in this kind of.
You know, look, when I was much younger, I was working at that time. I knew that it was military in power then. The military guys would take buses to the University of Lagos, take the girls, they would dress up, all of them, and run into the buses and go to the parties of these. So these military governors and what have you were distributing all these young girls. This is, I'm talking way back. You people, they were not, maybe some of you were not even born safe. It has just escalated. From what they were doing in those days to today, what has happened is it has escalated. It's not only, now because you have plenty politicians, you have senators, you have House of Rep, you have this, you have National Assembly, Lagos State House of Assembly,
briefcase companies, all these millions and billions that have been transferring everywhere.
Exactly. And because our values in Nigeria, I won't say about the rest of Africa, because Africa is, I'm not sure, but our values, we value too much on material property. Value too much on carrying designer bags, wearing gold. So that is what
the truth is that a young girl who suddenly gets the freedom. I think it happens in different places, not just Nigeria. A young girl who's been at home all her life finally gets the freedom, goes out to university, and then you go to clubs, you meet people, some might be a politician, say, well, I have a party with some political friends, come around. These things happen. We can't make it look as though it's a bad thing to go to a party like that. But the part where there's a problem is where you now sell your body for money, where now it's now become a trade. Is where how did partying or having a night party with politicians or hanging out doing for at the club become a sex trade?
That's where I beg to disagree. You see, sorry, these girls are young, between 18 and 21. These men are in their 40s. You are inviting them to parties. What kind of parties are those? That means that they are going to parties, they know what they're going for. And then,
part of the entertainment.
Yes, and you end up giving them money. Come to this party, you are being promised 100,000.
Mariah, an average campus girl in Nigeria lives above their allowance from their parents. Some of them don't get allowance. An average campus girl uses a smartphone, requires that she recharges that phone with internet every month. She needs to have her hair done. She needs to have makeup kits. She needs to dress on point. Definitely cannot be financed by the parents. I said average. So how do we meet up to that standard that has been set by the society, sort of, and accepted by them? They need to go into prostitution. Now, we call it runs girls. My time, it was runs. It was what you're just doing runs. Aristo. But it was just a way of sugarcoating. The point is, you are a prostitute because you're getting financial benefit in exchange for sexual services rendered. So we're just facing the facts now, and we have that data to prove it.
I was going to explain to Maya the thin line between attending those parties and, actually being a prostitute outright. When I left secondary school, I had a secondary school mate who was into prostitution back in secondary school. We all knew about it because the rich parents, when they come to school to pick up their younger kids in class, they have this arrangement. We had a pimp within our set at the time who would arrange these girls, so they knew what they were doing, they knew what they were into. She's still a very big girl today. I see her pictures, Dubai, flying around the country, the world. But back then, I remember her always trying to lure me. She'd come, oh, you're a very pretty girl. See your eyes, see your brown eyes. You know, she does all those things. It wasn't about material in the first place. It was about making me feel, you know, too out of this world. So my solace was the home I was from. Being raised with this value system of be content with whatever I give to you. So even when she had the first time she brought the Jeep to my house and I saw, I was like, yay. I remembered that it was that business that must have, you know, gotten her, because she's not from a rich home.
Let me take Chidi from Enugu. Chidi, are you there? Chidi. Hello, Chidi, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, Chidi, go ahead, please.
Hello?
Good morning, go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I think
we
we
lost them.
Okay, so let me finish. And the next thing she would say, like, you don't really have to do anything. No. Just attend these our parties with us. Just attend dance, 50K. Back in 99, attendance 50K. That's too much money for me to even comprehend. Yeah. So I will run back to my mom. If I attend parties with my friend, they'll give me 50K. Said, oh, you attend that party, you'll not come back alive. I'm swearing for you. You know, and that kind of link, I knew already.
You know, Poike always tell us something that let us not be hypocritical. Let us be as real as possible. Young girls hang out, party hard. In university, first year, second year, different, maybe average.
You know the party you
I
partied.
I know I partied.
You did not party.
You are not attending the party.
No.
Moriah, you were not. You did not party.
You are going to your friend's party.
No, you did not party. You partied maybe within campus or among students. You did not party that you were brought. You were organized as a young girl. Bachelor Eve party. They come with buses to load girls for bachelor Eve party, and when you are leaving, they pay you because they're going to rob.
How is that prostitution? Because they came to carry you years and hanging out. First and then they're dishing out 10,000. Or really, maybe just what they call that.
Half of them don't come back home with the bus.
Thank you for coming, kind of thing. T-fair, they call it T-fair. How is that prostitution? I'm trying.
Moriah, when you are partying with your age mates, with your colleagues, is it? I partied. Me, I loved parties every Friday like this. I'm thinking, but I wasn't going to. Pick up the call.
Joke from Ikeja, are you there?
Yeah. Good morning.
Morning. Go ahead,
Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
Hi.
How's everything?
Very well.
Fine.
Okay, I just want to greet everybody.
Oh, thank you.
First time caller.
Yay! Welcome to the show.
Yeah, bye.
All right, YK, you were saying. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yes, I partied. I'm not saying I didn't, but I didn't go to parties where they have organized girls and there are these military officers. Because when I was younger, it was military officers in power. They are military officers.
Oil
yes.
burns.
I don't want us to be judgmental. That's
I'm not being
saying.
judgmental. I am telling you. Let me tell you. Was something, a true life story. My friend, this is just recently. This is not even university. She's an actress. She got a call from another actress who is not maybe a grade C or D actress who says, please, you don't come into town. When you don't come into town, come now. She says, thank you. Anyway, whether governor or Kiniko wants to see you in Kiniko States. She said, what? She says, just seeing you only. They're going to give you 500,000.
Yeah,
it's very possible.
Just seeing you, and she was like, excuse me, I'm married. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything. Just to see you because they like you, and that's how it starts.
Okay.
Let me take this call.
Now, parents, take the call.
Smart, are you there for Ikosi?
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to contribute to the program.
Yes.
You see, what is really happening is that we've really lost our value system. Just like Nema said, the issue is that it starts from the family. If you have a very good background from the family, nobody can always... The problem is that so many families have been deteriorated from the onset. Before a child is even leaving to school, she's already having a very serious problem in the family. The mother is not there. There is no family love. The father is not even there. So when she goes to school, she's already vulnerable. Anybody can easily tell her anything to believe, and she can always go astray. Apart from the fact that we have some very wealthy ladies that came from a very wealthy home that decided to be flexing around. Most of it is family background. If we trace our roots back to the family, and we have a very good family background, and we follow it up from the family, we can get it right. What you people are saying, you people are not even hitting it the way it is. it has deteriorated more than you think, even much more than you think. 15 years, 16 years. But like I said, it has to do with family.
Thank you so much. Yes, talk what's going to come in.
I want to understand that some prostitutes is based on sexual abuse. Some of them have been sexually abused, and so the only way they can generate fun is to have sex and be paid for it. But in most cases, for ladies, actually considering the topic, which is about campus, and the fact that we now have the highest rate of prostitutes in campus, it is about self-value, dignity of labor. If you need money, work for it. You don't. The work doesn't have to be on your back. Work, earn a trade.
Our parents.
We'll come to the parental part, because we're bringing our guest who was an ex-prostitute, and now she's campaigning and she's doing so many things for people just to get you to believe in your dreams and achieve your purposes. So when we come back, we'll have our guest on us. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our guest is Pastor Omenissa Oruma Akomolafe. She's an ordained pastor, founder of Pearls Counselor, and a role model to many. She'll be sharing her story because she's also in charge of her campaign is about healing, emotional healing for women, and is geared at helping women who've been in various emotional distress to come out of that and become to fulfill their purposes in life. You've had your own share of stories, so you'd like to share some of that with us. Welcome to the show.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. My whole thing about life is people have to be healed emotionally. And when we have wounds in different aspects of our lives, it would permeate to prostitution. It will permeate to domestic violence. It will definitely show up in some aspect of your life. And I enjoyed the topic today when I'm talking about prostitution in schools, you know, and all of that is coming because there is a dent in the family system. Something is wrong. The father is not there, or the mother is crazy, or she's just talking all the time, and there's no connection in the marriage. So you just grow up, you know, just looking forward to leave that house. And so you're not looking forward to leave the house to have sex. You're just looking forward to get out of there, you know, and then because you're vulnerable and there is a hole there already, you know, so it inflates, like it just exactly. And I was raised in a pastor's home. Bishop Ben and Joy Oruma are my parents. God used them to heal the sick and raise the dead in Africa and in Nigeria and in Zaria and Kaduna and all that. And I'm an only child. So you can imagine, how did I get myself involved in all of that? And there is really no legit reason but the fact that I grew up in the limelight. My dad was on television 7 days a week. He was preaching every day. So when I went to school, people didn't know who Omenissa was. People knew who Oruma was. And that put a lot of pressure on me, and it made me extremely angry. And then on top of all of that, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. And scoliosis is when your spinal cord is shaped like a perfect S. Now I'm growing up watching God use my parents to heal the sick and raise the dead, and then now I have this problem, and then we have to go from country to country, from state to state, raising money for my surgery, and it just didn't make any sense to me. So I was extremely suicidal by that age, because God is not real. You cannot be real if we have to go through all of this and then you heal other people but you don't heal me.
Okay, now let me let you pause for a second, because the truth is that a lot of young girls are going into prostitution also because of emotional problems they are going through in their families. Now, you got into this business somehow because you're telling us of the experiences you've had with your parents. Now, as a young child, especially want to help young people out there, how do you come to the point of just getting out to the point of actually getting involved in that act? Getting out of the whole prostitution thing.
By the time I was 21, I was a virgin, and I was not married at that time. I went to school in Texas. I was singing for everybody, for TD Jakes, for all those people. And some guy was 42 years old, and he sends me flowers. Now, I grew up in a home where my father adored me and still does, and my mother did. So why was it so easy to lure me? And that's because I was just trying to be rebellious. I was just trying to just get out of that mode, just get out of that pastor's daughter and everything's perfect, because I was going through so much in my house underneath and nobody knew. So this was an avenue. Oh, somebody loves me. You know, this person is not obligated to love me. You see, because when your parents love you,
It's an obligation.
they're obligated to love you, so duh. But when somebody from from outside comes up and he's like, I adore you and you're so beautiful, and then he's 42 years old, and I never did parties or anything, so this was my very first time to like being exposed, and he's a white guy and he's tall, he has blue eyes and all that, and he's just, oh, I love you. And girl, from one night to 3 years, I was in that relationship and he was a drug addict. And you would think that, oh, after looking at cocaine and looking at all of that, you would expect that I would be scared. But I wasn't. I was like, finally, I'm important. Finally, I'm relevant. Because now I would have to take care of him when he has his high.
So the idea is that do you think that young girls going into prostitution, some of them is just to fulfill emotional need of being wanted?
Oh, I do not think. I know without a shadow of a doubt.
How do you now put in the fact that those that go into it for remuneration, for money?
Money is not, okay. It starts off, first of all, a woman who doesn't know what her calling is, and I'm sorry to use the word calling because that sounds too Christian. So if you don't know what your purpose is, if you don't know what you're called to do in your life, any road would take you there.
Hallelujah, somebody.
Any road. Yeah. So first of all, from the beginning, you don't know what you're called to do because your mother was crazy. She dogged your father every day. She was screaming and yelling at your dad. And your dad was beating up your mother every day. So you don't know what you're called to do. So by the time you get out of school, it's so easy to just fall prey. Is that an excuse? No. It's not an excuse. But you see, when you find out when you're younger and you like to braid hair, and every time you would braid hair for free, there is a possibility that that may be your calling. And you need to pray for some mentor or somebody who would encourage you. So all these people who go into prostitution, their first and foremost is either they have lost touch with their dreams when they were little girls, or they don't even know what they are called to do. And that's why any road will lead them there.
Amonesa, you have a privileged background. You had this sheltered life. Okay. So your story might be different from a lot of Nigerian girls whose lives were, from the beginning they were so much in poverty, they just wanted a way out. And they looked at it all and, someone around, a big sister in the neighborhood or somebody would say to them, you have to use what you have to get what you want. It's the easiest way. It comes without no price. You don't have to pay too much. Just use what you have. A lot of girls in Nigeria are in that position. That's how they got into prostitution. Not because, they were rebellious, they had emotional needs. They just had financial needs they had to fulfill.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the situation.
Yes. How do you deal with that?
Now, how do you deal with that? First of all, you're not stupid. When you get into that business and you start doing it, guess what? After some time, you will get tired. And there is something in your mind that tells you, I'm more than this. Why don't you get out of there at that point? But we have a lot of people who just stay there. So if your initial need was, okay, I need money, okay, we've forgiven you and God has moved on and we've all moved on. So at that point in time, if your desire and if your purpose is strong enough, and if you pay attention to your purpose, this has nothing to do with your
background. No matter how perverted it might sound, for some people, that's their purpose. Some women, we have an association of prostitution in Nigeria today who come out all the time in the papers to protect their rights. For some of them, that is their purpose. That is what they think. How do you deal with that?
We don't have time on the show to talk about the psychological aspect of what I do, but there is no normal human being who grew up in a normal environment, in a normal scenario, who would take that as an actual profession to be proud of.
Okay, point taken. Yes,
one of the things I notice is that, with these university girls, she will come home with this big car. Her parents won't ask her, where do you get this money for this car? So I think that sometimes parents should take more responsibilities for their children, because your child is coming home with designer bags that you cannot afford. You have to ask, where are you getting this? Then another thing is, parents, when your mother, because children always imitate their mothers. When all you are thinking about is the most expensive lace and the most expensive gold, and your daughter is seeing it, you can't afford to buy the two, so she will get it from outside. You have to be.
Let me link that to the emotional healing for parents, because parents too are going through some certain things that's probably making you blind to even see what your child is coming home with, and you are blinded by your own drama. Maybe you're in a polygamous setting. How do parents even get out of that? Before I come to talk about it.
If my husband is beating me up every night, I am so sorry. Yes, I saw that you don't look okay, and I saw that your purse, I certainly did not give you the money for that, but guess what? Your dad is hitting me every day, and I can't see. I'm blind, and blood is coming out of my nose. So I'm sorry, but I really can't pay attention to you. And that's what's going on in the home, is there's a lot of fragments in the home. And once again, everybody needs to be honest with themselves. And this is my problem with our country. We conceal a lot of things. We hide a lot of things. We don't talk about so many things. And I thank God for this show. You know, parents who are listening and who are watching, it's important that you admit to yourself that you have issues. It's important that you tell yourself that my husband is not all that he is supposed to be. And it's important that you also work on yourself. Only when you work on yourself can you now say, okay, this is my purpose. But you can't live your purpose when you're broken. So when you live out your purpose, your kids see you live out your purpose, and then they live out their purpose. It all boils down to what you're called for.
We're going to take a quick commercial, but when we come back, I want to know what you're doing in Nigeria, because I know you're doing a lot of work in the U.S. I read your CV. Pretty impressive. You've been to all the schools, Texas, Kentucky. I mean, and I'm wondering, okay, how do you stay by how do you fulfill your own purpose and do what you're doing? But I would like to know more what you're doing here in Nigeria, because our topic is on prostitution in campuses. What can you do to help those other young people? Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We have Tosha from Ilorin. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Everyone. Sorry, I don't know if anyone has raised this, the opinion I want to raise. Because Jenny's friend, white friends has taken our life here. See, I want to say parents are responsible for this prostitution in our Nigerian universities. We are all students. As a guy, I know how many days I can use my boxers. I don't need to change it if I don't have to change it. But as a lady, this sanitary pad stuff, I don't believe the most dirtiest lady students in any of our university can use a pants for 3 days. Who takes care of this? If you don't provide for your children, when they get to school, they misbehave. As a guy, whole semester I might not rub cream. I don't think a lady can live that life. You need roll-on, you need PEF. Now that when I was in school, there's no GSM or stuff. Now they want to go on whatever for iPhone X5, 6, 7, and what have you. If parents don't provide for their children, when they get out from the house, they misbehave.
All right, thank you very much for raising that point, because that's a very important point of the fact that he's saying young girls have needs. Some might wear underwear for 3-4 days because they don't have money to actually buy things. So I go into these things because of need. And you are going, you are insisting on the parental angle.
Yeah, I spoke to Honeypot yesterday, and she was telling me how when she was going to boarding house, her parents would say, write a list. She said she knew at no point did they ever buy any of the things completely, but that when she brings the list to her parents, her dad will say, okay, I know you want 4 cornflakes, I can only buy 1 pack, and that's because I cannot afford it. So you explain. Now, there are 2 sides of parenting. There's the ignorant parent that is so occupied with their own personal problem, they don't have time for the child, and there are the second set that commercialize their child to the point where they see that child as go and hustle for money and bring the money home. Hustle for money. You can see other people out there, and it starts from when they're small. When your child starts selling pure water for you when he's 5 years old, and you depend on that girl for money that you would use to eat, you will not complain if that child at 15 comes back home with 20K and says, I made it from prostitution.
Pastor Joshua. Pastor Joshua, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
Very well, very well.
I'm first time caller.
Welcome to the show, sir.
It is good to link to you today. I've been trying so many times to talk to you, ladies.
Thank you.
And we really want to appreciate your program.
Thank you, sir.
All the time you make us so happy on the newspaper review and all the topics that we have been discussing.
Thank you, sir.
So we want to say, I want to contribute to what we are discussing today.
Yeah.
Our ladies these days, they were like having another thought of training when they leave the house for the school. It doesn't matter the foundation that your parents must have laid for you before you get out of the house, but your mindset towards what you want to become. Many ladies get out there and they misbehave because they want to satisfy their body. But it is just by the special grace of God that many of our children go to school and they come back home without any out of pollution. But I want to say, God will put his fear in the hearts of our ladies these days, because it's rampant out there. What is going on in the schools, university, is nothing that we can write about. God will help us.
All right, thank you.
Amen.
I want us to, thank you so much, sir, for this call. I want us to bring this home, because the truth is that I don't want us to judge anybody. There are a lot of young girls out there, you don't know, you're not in their shoes. You don't know what pushed them to what they're doing. So let's not assume that they're all just looking for sex sake or looking for money. There are reasons. Now, for whatever reason you got into that position, we don't want to judge them, but we want you, as an expert, as a pastor who has been through this situation, how do we get them out of that? Because you said that, listen, you know what you're doing. You have to be true to yourself. You said that already. Be true to yourself. But how do we make them have some kind of sense of belonging, or to be true to themselves? Like, you know what you're doing, it's time to come out of it. How do we present that message?
Before you answer the question, let me just read this tweet so you can just. This is from Plastic. It says, would you rather them have sex for free? They collect money for services. Your young entrepreneurs using what they have for resources.
Oh, okay. So let's bring this home. First of all, I know I keep saying the same thing. You have to know what your purpose is. And if you don't know, at least you know that anything that is hidden is wrong. So you have to have, and for lack of a better word, you have to have confidence in the fact that if you work, you will get paid. And I'm not talking about laying on your back, like she said, but go out there and work. Work at TVC, work anywhere, work. People who work using their brains, you know, may not get as paid as you are getting paid, but at least like you can sleep at night. And please do not tell me that people who do all of that have a clear conscience. They have a seared conscience, not a cleared conscience. They have a conscience that has been trained to be hardened. So you have to get tired of doing what you are doing, and you have to know how to get your hands dirty. And when I say get your hands dirty, you have to work. Yes, I grew up in a privileged home and all that, but I started working when I was 13. I started making money, and I've worked 5 jobs in a consecutive time at a period in my life.
Sorry, where's the role of media? Where you see Kim K, you know, get paid for posting a sex video, where you see in Nigerian movies, for instance, a lot of Nollywood movies just portray this as the way, as a big girl thing, and then at the end of the day, the girl falls in love after living all that life. So it's always in the movies. Yoruba, the Nollywood, a lot of these actresses became big after acting all these kind of roles. Now, what's the place of media, you know, in disconnecting a properly trained girl from, you know, from her background and leading her into this kind of things?
To be honest with you, I don't have any control over the media, because the media feels like they have to make their money off exploiting people, so that's okay. But you know the way. Everybody knows the way. Yes, you know the way. Even when you come from a broken home or even a perfect home, you know the way. Even when you start off the wrong way, somewhere, somehow, you know, okay, something is wrong here. So you have to have confidence in your next decision and in the right decision.
I need to know how you snapped out of it.
Yeah,
let
me read this.
How I snapped out of it was that I got tired. I got tired of driving a pink car, and I was hiding it behind a big tree because I didn't want people to see me. I got tired of being with a 42-year-old who would use me at night, but in the daytime, I had to pretend like I was all put together. I got tired of it when my husband came into my life and proposed to me, and I had to give him a plethora of everything that I had done. I was highly embarrassed. I got tired of it when I was singing one day on the pulpit and God took my voice completely away, because you can't serve two masters. I got tired of it when I sat down in my house and I knew that what I was doing was completely wrong. And you know what? I got tired of it when I looked older, because sin makes you look older. You have to put extra makeup and you have to do everything extra to hide how you feel on the inside. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that all of these women are tired. I don't care how much they're making. Somewhere in there, they know that something is wrong.
And they need to snap out of it.
And you have to have confidence in doing the right thing.
Quickly. She says, your guest is so lovable and I relate to her story. I also wanted to share to shame my parents by going into prostitution.
At some point. Okay. Thank you so much for being around.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. We still need to bring you back for emotional healing properly, because we just want you to help us touch on the prostitution angle, but you do so much more than that. You're helping people both in Canada, in Kentucky, the whole works, and you've done a lot of work. I would like to bring you on again. So
thank you.
Stick around in Nigeria. All right, thank you. It was a great show today. See you again tomorrow, Wednesday, and this Thursday. Perhaps some fantastic topics coming up. Don't want to miss your view. Trust me. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.